Welcome to the newest series on the channel, Pooby Meter. I'm your host, Jack Loop, as always, and in today's video, we're going to be doing the Pooby Meter for SML February 2023. Now, I promise all of my content won't be about SML. 50% with this video will be, or 50% of videos on my channel after this one's released will be about SML. There will be other things thrown in there, but I just like to talk about their videos and stuff. It's an interesting concept for a channel, and it's just overall fun, and it's what I've grown up on for a while. But coming up, there will be a lot of SML videos because I want to do Pooby Meter for January and March, and then I also want to do the rapid rankings for January and March because I'm going to be doing them over the year. But so first, before we get into the video, I'm going to explain what this series is. So how it works is I go in on a month, and I go in, and I count up all the scenes, and I count a scene as whenever it cuts to a new thing, which I know isn't the definition, or most likely isn't the definition, but that's just what I count. So every time it cuts, and then I count how many of those scenes or cuts, I'll just say they're scenes, have Pooby or Chris. If you know him, he's my favorite character, my favorite behind the scene, or he's my favorite voice actor and also actor. He's my favorite crew member from SML. And so I count up how many players, or how many characters in that scene did he voice. I don't do duplicates, so if there's two people, like let's say Cody and Brooklyn Guy are in one scene, I'm not going to count that as two, because that would be 2 for 1, which wouldn't make sense. It would just be 1 for 1. And this might not always come out as correct because they can cut a lot. I mean, some of the videos have over 100 different cuts, so I might not get them right, and I might not get all of them right. I might not get all the characters right, but I promise it will probably be the closest. But anyways, so I take how many scenes there were and how many times Pooby was in them, and then I find the percentage and rounding to the nearest ones place to find the Pooby percent. And then I show you guys and show all the characters that he was and why he was this, and then explain why there was so much, and then I give away like awards, quote unquote awards, awarded to like the longest video, shortest video, most used character, stuff like that. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, and I also total up for the entire month. So I think that should be it. I think that's all. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leaving a like and subscribing would mean a ton, as always. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Kicking it off with the first video of February 2023 is Groundhog Day, which out of the 86 scenes had 49 of them had Pooby in them, which leaves it at a 57%. So a little over 50% of the video had Pooby in it. So basically the plot is Junior keeps repeating the same day over and over and over, which is Groundhog's Day, and then Cody helps him fix the problem by telling him at the end. Like I said, I'm going to be giving very short plots because I don't want the video to drag on too long. So in this video, Pooby plays Cody and Brooklyn Guy. And basically the video is the days keep on repeating, and Brooklyn Guy, and it's a school video, so Cody's going to be there, of course. And then Brooklyn Guy comes in for a random daily death check every repetition. So, that calls for a lot. And then Cody is also the one who fixes the issue by telling him how to fix it, by how Junior can resolve it. So, he was the one who basically solved it. So, course, that's gonna have a lot, and, the video was also pretty long, so, really the only scenes that didn't have him were, Jackie 2 scenes, Junior going to sleep scenes, Junior waking up scenes, and then scenes in the kitchen with Chef Pee-Pee's grape jelly ravioli. So yeah, moving on to number 2. Moving on to the second video of February, Jeffy the Sketch Artist. Out of the 65 scenes it had 58 of the scenes had Pooby, which an 89% of the video had Pooby, which is almost 9/10 of the video just being Pooby. And the reason for this is, well, or let's see, what characters. He played Judge Pooby, Brooklyn Guy, Judith, Chief, Lone Dolphin, Cody, and Steve Sailburger in one episode. So that's a lot of characters that he played. And since Jeffy got a job at the police station, Brooklyn Guy was there, and Chief was there, and Brooklyn Guy was there every time someone got interviewed by Jeffy to draw it. So, you know, that's of course going to bump it up. And then he also played Judge Pooby, which every time Marvin went to court, there was Judge Pooby there. And also Brooklyn Guy was there to, you know, make sure Marvin didn't, like, try and escape since he was doing all those bad things, quote unquote, because he wasn't actually doing those bad things. So he was standing by him every time. So basically, every single scene in the courtroom had him. So yeah, basically every scene, court scene had Pooby. So yeah, moving on to number. The third video of February 2023 was Dunkin' Donuts, which out of the 40 scenes it had 35 of the scenes having Pooby, which racks up to an 88%, which again is just a lot. So basically the plot is Cody gets Dunkin' Donuts, he spills the coffee on Ken's feet, in which it was super hot and burned Ken's feet off, so they go to court, and Cody wins. And then Brooklyn Guy does surgery on Ken to get it back, and that's where the video ends. Or a little bit after that, of course. The characters he played were Cody, Brooklyn Guy, and Judge Pooby, and so it was another court video, so of course Judge Pooby was there, and literally the only scenes that didn't have him were Mr. Goodman when he defended against Dunkin' Donuts. So yeah, that was basically it. I mean, of course there were other scenes, but it was with the trio, so of course it had Cody, and I mean, the entire thing is surrounded by Cody since, you know, it's Ken, so it's gonna have a lot. Moving on to number 4. The fourth video of February 2023 was Brooklyn Guy's Guilt, and out of the 33 scenes, 22 of them had Pooby with a 67%, which is definitely lower than the last two, but I mean, it's still a decent amount. The characters include Brooklyn Guy, Chief, and Patrick, and as the title suggests, it's a Brooklyn Guy video, so of course it's gonna have a lot of Brooklyn Guy. It also has Chief because he's the leader of a lot of Brooklyn's jobs. And then I didn't realize this at the time, but Patrick was in the scene at Tyler's birthday party. He's hiding behind the two other people. Oh yeah, I should explain what the plot is. Brooklyn Guy stays up late, and he forgets to put out a fire because he fell back asleep. So then everybody dies, or so it seems at that time. And then, he goes to a bunch of his different jobs, being sad. And then they find out later that they were actually shot, so they didn't burn in the fire. To which then he's more happy, and then they have to do a sting operation in which he forgets again. So, yeah, I kind of already explained everything, so moving on to number 5. The fifth video of February 2023 was The Ticket Problem, which out of 62 scenes had 28 of them with Pooby in them, which a 45%, which, I mean, it does sound kind of bad, but that's almost half of the video having him. He played Brooklyn Guy and Pooby as himself. The first ever appearance as himself on the series, which he might have in January, but technically that video is being made after this one, or this video is being made. That video is being made after this video. Basically, the plot is Goodman gives Marvin tickets because he got the wrong tickets, and then Brooklyn Guy, he doesn't know who to take with him, so then, in the end, there's a competition between Dougie and Brooklyn Guy, in which Brooklyn Guy rigs it and wins, and then finds out they're not actually tickets, so he comes back, watches the Super Bowl at their house, and then there's a Super Bowl commercial at the end. That's pretty funny. So, basically, the plot includes Brooklyn Guy as one of the main characters, as he's the one who moved it along, who actually, like, caused the competition, because Dougie was first, and if Brooklyn Guy hadn't showed up and wanted to, then, you know, that, he was just given the tickets to Dougie, so, you know, but he was the one competing, and then the Super Bowl commercial at the end included Pooby as himself, in all the scenes, so, yeah, moving on to number 6. The 6th video of February 2023 was Jeffy Gets Knocked Out, which had 18 out of 31 of the 18 scenes out of the total 31 scenes having Pooby with a 58%. So the plot in this video is Jeffy gets knocked out while playing a dodgeball game, and then they call the doctor, and Marvin's also sick, so he goes sees the doctor, and then they find out that he's not dead like they think he was, because he was locked up in a kennel, which is a pretty wild explanation, but yes, that was the video. So in the video, he plays Cody and Brooklyn Guy. So the reason Jeffy got knocked out was because he was playing a dodgeball game with the trio being Junior, Joseph, and Cody. So Cody's in there, of course, so it had a few scenes with Cody. And then Marvin is also sick, so Brooklyn Guy's there since he's the doctor. And then he also diagnosed Jeffy as not dead at the end of the video. So, yeah. Moving on to number 7. The 7th video of February 2023 was The Spy Balloon, which out of 38 total scenes, had 28 of them having Pooby. The plot is Junior Jeffy and Cody accidentally shoot down a Chinese spy balloon, so they get hired by the military to protect them against other missiles, to which they can't, of course, so China sends a nuke to San Francisco, in which they blow it up, because, of course, they can't defend against it. They're kids with a toy, and then they get fired, and that's about it. So, in this video, he played Cody, Chief, and Brooklyn Guy, and, I mean, Chief and Brooklyn Guy are part of the military in this video, so they're both in every scene where they're talking about the military. They're also in a few news scenes. And Cody was also the one who had the toy, which shot down the missile, and was a part of the missile defense team. So, yeah. So, I mean, it was a semi-short video, but had a lot of Pooby scenes since he was a part of the 2 main character lines. So moving on to number 8. The 8th video of February 2023 was Jeffy's Eggs. Out of 17 total scenes, 6 of them had Pooby with a total of 35%. Pretty low. On the, rating meter. The plot of Jeffy's Eggs is Jeffy finds eggs in the bathtub, and then they find out they're dinosaur eggs, or kind of. They're not. They find out later that they weren't dinosaur eggs, but whatever. And so then they call an egg spurt. So that's Brooklyn Guy, of course, because he has, like, every job in the SML universe. And, so then he just says that it's illegal for them to sell them, but they would be worth a lot of money. And then once he finds out how much money they'd be worth, geez, big voice crack there, how much money they would be worth, after talking to the lone dolphin, they try and go sell it to the lone dolphin, in which he's just like, no, these are just a part of a science kit. So, in this video, he played Broken Guy and Lone Dolphin. So the characters he played were Broken Guy and the Lone Dolphin. I might have already said that. I just paused it because something interrupted my recording. But basically, I kind of explained already the reason when I was explaining the plot. So let's move on to number 9. The 9th video of February 2023 was Air Bud, which had 104 scenes, which is wacky, and 71 of those scenes had Pooby, which totals to 68%. The plot of the video is a stray dog follows Cody back to Junior's house, and then Junior thinks he's good at basketball after the ball bounces off of his head and into the basket. So then he posts it on TikTok, and then Pooby, or Brooklyn Guy, I should say, is the coach of a team that is 0-10, and he's going to get fired if he loses. And their star player, Pooby, as himself, gets injured, so he needs to find a replacement. So he finds the dog, because for some reason he thinks the dog is good at basketball, even though dogs can't play basketball. Anyways, and then they play a game, and somewhere in there, the dog runs away, and then they just win it with Pooby coming back, even though he's injured. So the characters he played were Cody, Brooklyn Guy, Pooby as himself, Patrick, and Steve Stillberger. So he played a lot of characters that were on both teams, including a referee, coaching on one team, playing on one team, playing on the other team. It just all mixed together with a pretty big total. Also, Cody was one who had the stray dog follow him, so, just totaled in for a pretty big, total. Moving on to number 10. The 10th video of February 2023 was Goodman's Cat, which out of the 26 total scenes had 16 scenes with Pooby, which is a 62%. It's a decent amount. Actually, no, it's more than decent, because 62% is more than half. Is a bit more than half. Half of the video having Pooby. But in this one, it was a bit of a short video. He only played Brooklyn Guy, or the only character he played was Brooklyn Guy in this video. So basically the plot is Goodman drops off his cat to Marvin, which it runs under the table, and then they call Brooklyn Guy to try and get the cat out of under the table. So Brooklyn Guy tries in a bunch of different ways to get it out, and then also I'm trying to think of the word, operated on the cat, / made it into a coat. He, was the one who did that, so, he was in a lot. Brooklyn Guy was a part of the filler, because he was the one who found out all the goofy and wacky and silly ways to get the cat out, even though I already explained this when I put it at 11th on my list. It's such an easy fix. Anyways, and then he also was the doctor who operated on him, so, just all mixed together for, again, pretty big. A more than decent, size. Moving on to the final video, number 11. The 11th video of February 2023 was Cody's Hot Potion, in which 28 of the total scenes, 22 of them had Pooby, which you'd say that's a lot, but that was 79%. So a bit of a short video, but a lot of Pooby in this one. Since it had 79%. The plot is Cody has this potion that's going to make him get rid of all the ugly stuff about him, but he needs one more ingredient, which is really hard to find. Or just, he doesn't want to get it. He's lazy, I guess. Which, I guess that's another way you can put it. It's cooler if it's just harder to get. Anyways, they watch Dr. Finkelstein. I don't know why I said it like that. and they find out that he has the ingredient that they need. So they break into his house, which actually I guess would be Mrs. Finkelshit's house. So then they go in and they steal it. Jeffy causes a chemical reaction, which makes Cody panic and grab the wrong one, which causes his face to blow up. So then they call the doctor, and they try and fix it in goofy ways, and then in the end they just fix it by snapping their fingers. If you haven't heard the plot before, yep, that's the plot. That's the ending that they chose. So in this video, he played Cody, Dr. Finkelshitz, Broken Guy, and Mrs. Finkelshitz. So, I mean, this is a Cody video, so Cody was the reason for the issue. He was the cause of the issue. Not, like, directly, but, like, you know, if he never made the hot potion, they would never... You get it. But they also went into Dr. Finkelshit's house. And then they also called the doctor because his face blew up. So they called him, of course, and... Yeah, so... That's about it. That's what bumped it up a lot. Again, short video on the terms of scenes, but a lot of Pooby. And with number 11, that will conclude February 2023. But not before we look at the total and the awards and unaward. Yeah, there's one unaward. The total for February 2023, there was 530 scenes, and 353 of them had Pooby, which is a 67% Pooby on the Pooby meter, which is pretty good. That's almost 70%. That is almost 70% of the month having him in it. So now, let's get into the awards. The shortest video award in terms of scenes goes to Jeffy's Eggs with only 17. The longest video award, by scenes of course, goes to Airbud with 104. Now there are so many different scenes because there were different changes between each play, each possession, each shot, when they short the scoreboard, when they cut to Broken Guy yelling at his team, you know, stuff like that. Now, this is the most Pooby award. This is the award for the video that had the most Pooby in it, which goes to Jeffy, the sketch artist, with 89% of the video having him. The least Pooby unaward. Now, the reason this is an unaward is because we like Pooby here. Alright, so it's an unaward that they didn't have a lot of him. But this is Jeffy's Eggs with only 35%. And the final award is the most Poobalicious award. Which I'm sure you won't know what this is for, but this is for the character that was played, or the character that is played by Pooby that appeared the most in this month, which of course goes to, drumroll, Brooklyn Guy, of course. I mean, what, I looked at SML, the fandom, and he had like 26 straight appearances. He's also the owner of every job in the SML universe, so of course he's gonna have a lot. And he had appearances in every video this month, of course. So that will conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you think that this series should continue, well, that's good, because I'm going to, probably anyways, unless people really don't like it. The next video will be, doing every video for Pooby Meter for January, and then every Pooby Meter for March, and then doing rapid rankings of both January and March. January and March. I don't know why that sounded weird in my head. And then by that time, I am gonna make other videos, like my G's and running gags rant. But by that time, April might be done because I upload once weekly. Hopefully I'll do it faster. Voice crack. Faster because, I know I didn't upload for a little while. I had some issues with my power going out every time I tried to record. But nonetheless, that's my schedule coming up. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, leaving a like and subscribing would be gratefully appreciated. And have a wonderful day.